Hello everyone, once again, this is Nick aka Outrunner. Thank you for choosing to watch this breakdown of my first release that went on Spotify and iTunes called Redliner. And in my previous video where I broke down Night Ride, which was a Kidvinsky inspired track, this one was more of an original, bit of a driving track at about 125 BPM, something a bit more fast-paced, bit more driving, and you're going to break down some of the elements. And I'm actually going to go through the sound packs and sound banks I use for this track. Now, you probably get a lot of conflicting opinions and views when it comes to making music. Some would say using presets and sound banks are okay. Some would say you have to engineer and create your own sounds through synthesis. For those that don't know, using your oscillators, your parameters, filtering, all that sort of stuff to get yourself a particular sound. And what basically the presets are is basically just pre-made and predetermined sound designs, I guess. That's pretty much what it is. And a lot of music creators or producers may feel a little bit conflicted that they're using presets when they maybe should be doing things from scratch. But I tend to like presets because they're made already, ready to go, and it's not just it doesn't count because you didn't make it from scratch. You still had to create something. You had to create chords, you had to create melodies, you had to create a structure, and ideas still had to come from yourself. So I think it's probably a little bit unfair to maybe disregard people's music just because they use presets. But I'm going to go through some of the ones I use for this track, and hopefully you can see that they are good to use when it comes to making not just synthwave or retrowave, but other genres of music as well. So let's have a bit of a listen to Redliner, and we'll go through the track. I'll just drop a short there. What are we at? Just shy of 2 minutes, just over. So it's a 4 or 5 minute track. What's the total? 4 and about 40 odd seconds. A bit of a delay at the end there, but that's pretty much the crux of the track. There's a bit of a breakdown around about this section here where it starts to get a little bit more drastic and fast paced, which I will go through. But first, let's just go through what I've done here at the intro. You can hear a bit of a brass intro. Sounds a little bit more like a big brass section, gladiator type, like, if you will. But it is the brass intro, and actually quite enjoyed making that brass intro because it was something I thoroughly got involved in, and this is it. So let's just listen to it solo. I think if And of course it faded out, there's a bit of a reverb delay there, but what I did for this in particular, as we go through this, was Serum. And it is the Led to Blade Runner 2 preset from Abletunes. And as we just play a couple of sounds. Very nice preset. That's what I used for the intro at the start. Then we also had some chords. Nothing fancy. Bit of a loop at the moment. So nothing really fancy there. Also had a bass drone. So that just added to the chords at the start, giving it a little bit more oomph, a little bit more body. So we play it together. So that's a very good technique. I learned that from other music production. When it comes to layering, you add bits and pieces to the sound, so you just put extra layers. It's all the same note, or the root note from the chords, and it basically just gives it a little bit extra. Then I've also added something else. I didn't label it, silly me, but let's have a listen. So that sounds a bit like a synth. What do we got there? So it's another lead from the Abletunes pack. It's not bad, don't mind that actually. I found it randomly. I thought it might be fitting towards the track. So when you play that with the bass drone plus the chords, you get this. It's got a nice feel to it, but ultimately it's just 3 elements in the track. Then when you add the intro brass as well, it's got a nice sound to it. Then we had the bass line up here, the bass roll. Again, simple, nothing fancy. So normally what you would have found is you would have had one on the first kick as well. So it would have, but because this has also got the sidechain on it via Nicky Romero kickstart, I don't need it. But otherwise, it would normally sound like this. And of course, I need to solo it because I've got the. Let's go from here. Here we go. See, normally you get the actual driving bass. Actually, let me see what it's going to sound like when I drop these all in there. It's turned into music production 101. Let's have a listen to this day. I just want to hear it with the kick actually. Let me have a look. Doesn't sound too bad actually. I probably should have left it in there like that, but what about when we change it? I don't know, I kind of like it without it because I think it gives it just a little bit more breathing room. It doesn't feel like it's sort of choking. Sometimes the first bass note also it just takes away from it. But that's the bass anyway. Again, simple. This was a bit of a lead I put together, nothing fancy. This one is out of the Nexus synthwave pack, Nexus 3. And this one was, what's it called? Turbo Laser. So nice little, give it a love heart there. Nice lead to use as well. Effective, practical, got the job done. This is a bit of an airy pad. And I think, pretty sure this is the DX pad in the synthwave pack as well on Nexus. Oh no, it's the simple pad. I was wrong, simple pad. Still a nice pad nonetheless. Very easy to listen to, nice and light on the ears. Then we had one of the leads here, one of the melodies. Nothing fancy, it's literally just, you know, 2 bars on loop, repeat. But it does the job, it flows with. This one also was a Nexus preset, I think it's, what is it? Orion Nebula. There you go, bit of a melody on the spot, but a good pack nonetheless. If you don't have the synthwave pack for Nexus, if you do use Nexus, I highly recommend it. It's got some great sounds in there. We had a second melody over here. That was literally it, just on repeat. Expand the Dreams is the sound. I'm just pressing random notes. I don't actually know how to play a keyboard, so don't ask for too much. But that is the sound there, so that's where we got that brassy sound. Lovely sound as well. What do we got here? I've got so many elements I didn't name. So this is the same sort of drone start that we had at the start of the track. There it is there. So it would have been just another lead at a lower octave, just to give it a bit more, I don't know, warmth, for lack of a better term, a bit more body. So well, that's on a high octave. That's what the notes are being played. Simple notes, nothing fancy. There's the synth chords. This is one of my favorite chord or pad presets in all of FL Studio. It's from the Harmor plugin. Was it Harmor or Harmless? I forget which one it is. What are we using here? Where's it going to tell me? Bloody hell. I forget which one it is. Where's it going to show me? I don't know, but it's called 80s. Where is it here? Here we go. 80s Keys FG is what it is. Very nice sound. Could also be used as a lead, I suppose. You can play around with it. Harmless, that's what it is. It is harmless. It's in FL Studio. It costs a bit if you don't have it. as part of the XL package, but you can buy it individually, which I did because I didn't have it as part of the package, but it does the job for me. I love it. I use it in almost every one of my tracks. I think it's fantastic, and it's just got a very good sound to it. Actually don't mind it at all. So that is that one there. And then this breakdown, I'll play the breakdown here when it gets a little bit more hectic, but there's a bit of an acidy sounding synth that I threw in here. And of course, because it's, even though I've muted it, here we go. No? Doesn't like to be played. Interesting. I don't know why FL Studio does that. I just want to listen to the bloody thing on its own and it won't let me. Anyways, let's listen to the whole breakdown then. What do I got here? It should still play even though I've got it selected here. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but anyway, it's got a bit of an acidy sound to it. Might have hit something by accident or mistake or muck something up, who the hell knows. Maybe if I just turn off the love filter, you might be able to hear it in its entirety. I think that might be a better thing to do. And this is what it sounds like with the bass. So it's not meant to be anything really fancy, it's just meant to be another layer underneath the bass line just to give it something else as it goes into the drop, and then it just goes back to its normal form around about here. So nothing really fancy. There's a whole bunch of crashes and effects and bits and pieces over here. Some down filters from Vengeance packs as well. Reverse crashes and things like that. So not a whole lot happening in this track per se, but enough to give you a very fulfilling feel. And as this video is nearly hit 20 minutes, I think that might wrap it up. A bit of a breakdown as to what went on. So I used Serum, the Abletunes, what was it called, Synthwave pack, I think it was. You can purchase it via their website. There was also the Synthwave pack via Nexus, and in some of my newer tracks, which are out on Spotify and iTunes in the next couple of weeks from once this video is released, I've begun to use a lot of Serum, Nexus, and also Flex as well, the Synthwave pack out of Flex. And VHS Glitch did a video half a year ago or so on making an actual track out of the Flex presets. So that was quite interesting. And these guys are the same people that make synthwave music for Dr. Disrespect, everyone's favorite 80s, Uber superhero, good guy character type of person. So something to look forward to there. And as there's noise happening in the background, I think that'll wrap this one up. So yeah, once again, I'm Nick, aka Outrunner. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, under Outrunner, SoundCloud, Outrunner Music, Facebook, Outrunner Music Instagram, Outrunner Music, and also don't forget to check out the Outrun subreddit on Reddit r/Outrun, and also Synthwave Producers on Facebook. If you are a Synthwave producer, make sure you check out that page. But that's it from me. Everyone take care and make yourself some good tunes.